Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to the Pandemic Diary 2020 with me, Emily Blake. I'll soon be joined by my co-host, Joan Achong. Now, on today's show, I'm very excited to say that we have two very successful entrepreneurs, and the first one is Sham Mahabir, and he is the former Business Development and Partnership Director of Indigo Street Food Company, and he is the entrepreneur and successful owner of the restaurant Lyman. And I'm going to say it like that because I simply have to. Now, this restaurant was voted the second best restaurant in London just within its very first few weeks of opening. So that is absolutely fantastic. You're also the director of the Jerk and Beyond Festival, and we'll come on to all of that good stuff in a bit.
Wonderful.
For now, thanks for being here, Sham. I'd like to introduce Nomsa, our second guest today. And Nomsa Clara is the CEO and director of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. And this is a professional high-end matchmaking service. And I'm so intrigued to learn more about this, Nomsa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Emily, for having me. I do appreciate you inviting me to the show.
It's absolutely our pleasure. Thank you. Joan Achong, my co-host, welcome. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Nomsa. Good morning, Mr. Sham Mahabir. And good morning, co-star Emily. Nice to be back on this Monday. It's going to be a wonderful show today, and I'm so happy to see every one of you. You all look so lovely today.
Feeling the love already.
On the Pandemic Diary, I'm going to take the opportunity to invite all our guests who are tuning in. We tuned in a bit later today. Our normal time is at 11 a.m., but today, because of special circumstances, we're tuning in at 1 p.m. Now, please like, subscribe, go to Video Index. Like, subscribe, make your comments, say what you're enjoying, and ask our viewer. You could ask Emily and myself, or our guest Sham and Nomsa, any questions you like pertaining to the subject matter that we're discussing today. And have a wonderful day. Join us, and let's have fun now.
Yes. So here on the Pandemic Diary, it's our aim to speak to guests from lots of different backgrounds, sometimes from different countries as well. And we really want to find out what their lives, what our guests' lives were like before the pandemic hit, and also what our lives are like now. And it's really an interesting journey. Every day we're speaking to such interesting people. And I'm going to start with Sham. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hi there. Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your business? Obviously, Lyman is your very successful restaurant, and we've just been having a little chat about how, what was the word we used? Authentic.
Yes.
Authentic Caribbean food. So I'm up for this discussion.
Well, I think, Lyman, just for our viewers who don't know Lyman, we started back in October 2018 as a pop-up for 10 weeks in Old Spitalfields Market. From what I understand, we were the first sort of Caribbean-owned independent restaurant to open in central London. And Spitalfields Market, as you know, has a great heritage in food and street food culture. We quickly grew in popularity, and the Caribbean community was pleased. The Trinidadians were pleased because we finally had a place where, there's many Jamaican restaurants here, but there was no Trinidadian restaurant. And our food is exquisite. We have the different continents from China and India and Africa and the Middle East, sort of, fusing together these amazing flavors. Anyway, like you mentioned, we quickly grew to number 2 on TripAdvisor, which was excellent. And it was a team. The team worked really, really hard behind everything. We was very special. For us, it was about offering that authentic, and I hate that word, but experience. In addition to that, I guess, we actually had, so doubles is one of our signature street food in Trinidad. And so I decided this dish needs to have a day. So I created a day for this, and it's called International Doubles Day, where we had an international campaign where we had from our opposition leader in Trinidad and Tobago to the British High Commissioner in Trinidad and Tobago talk about the dish, doubles. But one of the biggest things we did Jerk and Beyond, which was showcasing to Londoners and also the Caribbean community food from across the islands and just how different it is, because we have an idea that Caribbean food is one thing, rice and peas and jerk chicken, but it was really trying to showcase a lot more than just that. So it was quite the time. We stayed for 10 months in the end. We went to Ibiza. We took over the hotel there, cooked for the American Embassy, Brighton Food Festival. We did a lot in the 10 months we were there. We had a street party. We did so much, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Amazing. I've just seen the International Doubles Day date. So that's actually coming up in May.
Yes. So we had a massive thing planned for it, May 30th. It was a success last year. The queues were great. We were featured in Time Out. We've had really good PR and press and publicity around everything. So this year, because of the pandemic, obviously there's no group gathering. So we have been doing tutorials on how to cook some Trinidadian foods on our Instagram. And one of those dishes is doubles. So we're going to try a campaign to have people do doubles at home and share it with us.
That sounds amazing. What is a double for anyone who's listening who doesn't actually know? What is a double?
Well, so I'll tell you how it's described. Customers describe it as eating clouds. You basically have two very soft flatbreads. It's just fried and it's light, and you have this very, very mild chickpea curry with turmeric and ground cumin. And then you have on it a cool cucumber, some tamarind sauce, and some chili sauce. So you have the softness, you have the chana, a little bit of crunch in it, a little bit of bite to it. Then you have a cool cucumber, the spiciness from the tamarind sauce. It is literally an explosion in your mouth of flavor and texture, and it is just amazing.
I'm getting hungry looking at this. I'm getting hungry looking at this. Oh, my goodness.
Go to our Instagram account and learn to make it at home while we're on lockdown.
What's your Instagram?
Come Lime with us. That's Lime, COMELIMEWITHUS. Come Lime with us, which means just come hang out
with us. Okay, everybody, come lime with us.
What's that, Joan?
I said, everybody hear that? Come line with us at Liming.
It's an open invitation.
Okay. Apart from the International Doubles Day and the Jerk and Beyond Festival, which it was a privilege to be involved with, you have also come across a little secret that you're putting your hands into the liqueur, alcoholic beverage.
Well, I think we basically realized that there's so much rum on the market, and it's a big thing. We are a rum bar, and we basically sell rum cocktails. So we traveled to the Caribbean, several islands. We went to the distilleries. We understood the process of making rum. We came back, and we have now blended our own rum, which will be launched later on in this year. Now, it should have been launched about now, but COVID-19, we had to push things back, and that's fine. It's actually allowed us the time to really think about not only the liquid we have already blended, and that's amazing. And I'm pretty certain it will become known as one of the best blended rum on the market, hands down. And that I can guarantee you now. So that should be launched later on this year. But we really went back to basics with it. We've actually looked at the bottle, the design, the label. When it is launched, it's going to be very special, very, very special.
Okay. And what is the name of that special brand launch?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to say just yet, but all I can say is it's very catchy. It's fun. We can have lots of fun with it. We can have wait for it. Follow us on social media. You'll get it.
Okay, you're not spilling it out of the bag just yet. You're just gonna tease us with this rum blend. Okay, so like you said, the COVID-19 had affected the launch of this rum brand. Yes. And also the Jerk and Beyond Festival for this year. What are your plans, the future plans for liming, the Jerk and Beyond Festival, and the branding of the rum?
Okay, so I think let's take them one at a time. So if you look at liming, because that's basically where we started from, and in many ways it's our core. So we are working, we are hoping to reopen as soon as COVID-19 is over, quite possibly in different stages. So stage 1, where we offer delivery service. Stage 2, where there's social distancing, where we actually have our restaurant. Now, the new side, we can do almost 200 covers in and out. So if we have to do social distancing seating, we'll probably be looking at 60 or 70. So that's stage 2. And then stage 3 is when this is all over. We can then look at having, the big party and the big launch and all that kind of stuff. So, but the good thing, Joan, here is with Lyman, we've actually gone back to basics also with the concept. We're no longer going to be, it's still going to be a Trinidadian restaurant, Trinidadian food, Trinidadian vibes, right? But we will take you from a rumba in Havana to the beach bars to the beach bars in Barbados, and then you probably will be having a tea punch in Martinique, or you'll be dining in St. Bart's. All the Trinidad food. We are taking diners on the ultimate Caribbean journey.
Are you taking me on that tour with you? I'm getting a bit, Emily, he should be taking us island hopping on that festival road with him, shouldn't
when
we?
we go to Lyman, it will be like you're basically in the Caribbean. We're literally on the South Bank, and it's going to be phenomenal.
Okay, brilliant. Looking forward to it.
And I guess the last part, to move on to Jake and beyond, it has been, when I'm seeing the video here, Dan Abbott right now is talking about it, our community had Notting Hill Carnival, and that was wonderful. But the whole idea of Jake and beyond to showcase our food to Londoners. What we in the end found was our community came together, and we were described as being at the start of something phenomenal, bringing the Caribbean community in London together. So we're looking at dates for this year. Chances are, with us opening Lyman later on this year, we probably won't do it this year, but it will be done next year, ideally around May time, to start it all off. So COVID-19 had postponed this festival, and we completely understand why. And with the RAM again, it will be launched, like I said, later on this year, and that's going to be special.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. And you can just see the joy, the happiness, the warmth and love that, these kind of events create. So, can't wait for you to be able to put that on again next year. Thank you. So Nomsa, waiting patiently there. Thank you so much for joining us on today's show. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm wonderful. I'm surrounded by greatness, so I'm good. Nomsa, can you please tell us a little bit more about your agency?
So basically, Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency is a matchmaking introduction agency that helps people have one of a kind lifelong memories. So basically, I help my clients connect with each other, and my agency is for a serious relationship and marriage, no games. And within the agency, we have coaches as well. We have a stylist as well. So if you have a problem with your image, that's not a problem. We can help you with that. And women join for free within our agency. The reason why I chose this model for women to join for free is simply I basically wanted to help women just by doing some research on the apps. Women, they are having so much problems when they go on a date. Sometimes they get bullied, and sometimes some people have been killed through the dating agency. So that was the reason why I decided to let women join for free. And unfortunately, many have to pay within Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. But it's so fun because when you join Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency, you become part of the family. And I go to your house to try to understand your wants, your needs, your desires. Basically, I have to forge a relationship with you and get to know you before I can match you and try to understand your past as well. And if there's anything that is attached, any attachment that is attached to your past, to your upbringing. So we try together, me and the clients, we work together to try to break those habits. So when you go on a date, you actually become your own matchmaker, because I am not going to be there and my coaches are not going to be there. So we work together before you go, basically for you to wear the authentic coat. Because some people, they like people to get to know the fake quote. So I help my clients basically to present themselves real. So take me as I am. This is me. When I go on a date, this is me. So, and then when you go on a date, I help them to understand that when you are there, you're not going to interview a client like a job interview, but you're going to interview your date, get to understand your date, and at the same time having fun, because going on a date is all about having fun and getting to know the real you and getting to know the other person. So that's how I help my clients. And when they go on a date, if that date doesn't go well, they give me feedback. Basically, there are no games. That date has to end, and they give me feedback. That's how I work. So I have I cover South Africa, Brazil, and we have offices we've got offices in different places. I've got different matchmakers that I work with. So that's how Hope Spring Eternal Introduction works, agency works.
Yeah, and you touched on, you know, the safety aspect of it as well for women, because obviously we live in this age now of online dating. We've got all these different apps out there and swipe left and swipe right. But actually with your service, it's about selecting someone for someone else. So when these two people sit down, they should already have things to talk about, because presumably they've got things in common that you will have, you know, sort out in both of them.
Yeah, because I go on a date with the women first, and men first. So when I go on a date, I get to understand who they are and I get to understand the men as well. And then I'll give the tips to a man. And then basically, when I go on a date, I'm observing. I don't tell men why I'm there. So I'm observing how they are treating me on that date. And then women, I'm observing the same thing. How are you treating me on that date? Because the way you are treating me, that's the same way you're going to treat the other person. And so everything is there, and how you are treating the waitresses as well. So I'm observing everything so I can help you. I'm not there to judge you. My job is not there to judge. My job is there to direct you to the right direction. And it's kind of funny because you get to know the real person, and then if there are things that needs to be sorted out, and then you can sort out there and there before they go on a date.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
Nomsa, sorry, I would like to ask a question here. You know, like when someone goes out on a date, especially if they're using an agency, wouldn't they put on their best foot forward? And after my worries are, they'll put their best foot forward because they know you are the owner and the proprietor of the dating agency, and you're summing them up. You're making your little tick list. You're watching different things about them. Yeah. Sometimes people could put up a front. Possibly
I'm a psychologist.
All right,
my job is there to snoop on you. I'm snooping on you. Basically, I am snooping on you, and also my job is to trigger the things that what you're not telling me. So my job is to find out the things that you're not telling me before you go on a date. You can come to me and say, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell her what she wants to hear, but it's not gonna end like that.
Okay, because I have you know, like a lot of people have fears, including myself, to dating someone. I remember when I first heard about your services, and I said, you know, it should be interesting for the show. I'm like, I'll be petrified to go to a dating, you know, a matchmaker. And the individual told me, no, Joan, it's a good thing to go to because they evaluate you, they evaluate the other party, and they bring you together. It's very good because long time in a lot of cultures, the Asian, the Africans, the different cultures, they used to matchmake. The parents used to matchmake. Is this sort of like bringing this sort of culture back into society, like the long time culture where someone will be choosing for you?
I basically, for me, The reason I help my clients is I help my clients to be who they want to be. Because I have been on that situation where I've dated men and my relationship was ending up the same story all the time. I was picking the wrong people until I make a choice to say, you know what? What's on the inside of me, to understand what's on the inside of me is greater than what's on the outside. I had to work on my inner self. And then when I step outside, I was no longer protecting my body. I was protecting what was on the inside of me, understanding that I need to create my own world, not what I'm expected to be. So when I go on a date, so when I started going on a date, it was like, for me, it was getting what I wanted, my desires. What do I want from the men that I am looking for? And also learning to communicate, because nowadays people don't communicate. People will tell you that I am single, but they don't communicate. You've got earphones, they walk with the earphones. You can have earphones on and then say hello to people. When you step on the outside, if you know you are single, present yourself as a single person, because there are men out there who are single looking to approach you. So when a man approaches you, waitress, you can meet a man everywhere. But we don't use that old generation culture. We expect, we basically think we're gonna go on the dating site and that's where you meet men. But you can meet men on the road when you step outside your house.
So you're telling me, telling the viewers that you could take these concepts on anywhere. You don't have to go on a website. You just meet a regular guy on the road or girl on the road. But I'm single. Now I'm gonna put you to the test. I'm kind of nervous to put you to the test. And if I were to come to you and say, look, Nomsa, I am single. I've been choosing the wrong guys, or sometimes the timing isn't right. Can you help me? Possibly I'm saying the wrong things or doing the wrong things, and I need help. What would you do to help me in that sense? Bearing in mind, I'm a more mature woman. I might have self-confidence issues. And how would you reassure me or hook me up on a date?
First, for me, before I help you, I have to enter your spirit. You are the writer, and you want me to read your book. Basically, you want me to read your book. You are saying, Nomsa, I'm looking for love. That means you are writing a story to me. I'm reading your story. So I need to enter your spirit to find out what is in there. I need to understand what is in there. What have you been doing that has been wrong? But I need to find out in the right way by asking questions, getting to know you, basically entering your world and understanding you. What have you been doing wrong? Why do you feel that you are not enough? If you have confidence issues, why do you feel that you are not enough? Because when your mom and dad conceived you, whether it was a one-night stand, whether it was, you don't know, or maybe you don't know your dad, or you have only one parent, or you have both parents, but the day when you were conceived, somebody celebrated you, celebrated your birth. You have a birthright to be on earth. So why would you feel that you are not enough? Because to me, what's on the inside of you is greater than what's on the outside, whether you are not feeling good inside, whether you are not feeling good on the outside. But for me, somebody celebrated your birthright. So why would you feel that you're not enough?
What do you say to that, Sham? Both of you are giving me the help here. I'm putting you into the mix, Sham. You take it from my point of view.
I think when it comes to relationships, it's one of these things that it's very personal to the individual. And I think, when we look at our background and our society right now, we have to take all those things into account and take into consideration. So I don't think there is a one shoe fit all kind of approach. I think it's very individual. And I think what Nomsa is doing actually, so she's trying to bring people in a different way. And I actually quite like that. Her approach is a different approach. But like you mentioned, Joan, it goes back to the Asian and the African community matchmaking, which still goes on in many ways. So you should just matchmaking in a different way.
I was wondering if I was to be matchmaking that I'm single. I'm nervous about it, even saying it to her. Emily, what do you think about it?
I think what Nomsa does, it sounds really, really good. And to be honest, I've had my fair share of experiences on the older apps, and I've had some very unsuccessful ventures on there. So I'd be much more willing to actually join an agency like this, where I know someone is actually looking at the other person and seeing if they're suitable and nice and are going to treat you well. So I think it sounds great.
I think with that, it removes a lot of barriers, and it actually obviously helps. It's almost an icebreaker that you haven't had with a sort of a left or right kind of thing. So with that approach, I think it's a great approach. Yes.
There's a question on screen for you, Sham. It says, how does he feel about opening a restaurant in this new normal? Okay, so speaking about after COVID, do you think that it will be a struggle to attract people to Lime? Or do you think people will? I can't see the rest of the question. We've got a ...
Lime, or do we think people will?
I think I can see here actually. I think the new normal is, I think I've been asked this many times, you're going to open a restaurant post-COVID-19, you have no idea what's going to happen and all of that. And yes, I get that completely. I think for us is we have a unique opportunity to actually do something that hasn't been done before for not only the Caribbean community, but for Londoners who live here, to showcase our culture, our food, our people. And there is a saying, in every tragedy, there are opportunities. And for us to find this opportunity when we're looking at business, when we're looking at growing, in many ways we have, I guess, places will close. We have the best pick of staff, for argument's sake. So I think it's about changing our mindset and thinking, yes, some models won't work, but if we create a model where a community is happy and we're doing something different and we're actually offering an experience rather than just come and eat and leave, I hope and I think that actually will carry us through post-COVID-19 to actually get back to where we were. And I think they're talking about the common Lime. I love any Trinidadian you ask, are you ready to Lime? I think they're ready to Lime. Any Caribbean person, they're ready to go out again. So if we're actually going to base this business on the Caribbean community, we will do well. But again, it's not just about the Caribbean community. It's more about how we actually showcase our food culture, our people to London.
I don't think you're going to have any trouble at all.
We have to clear up the point. What is liming?
Okay.
Explain to us what is liming, because some people don't understand what we mean when we say liming. Okay, it's the name of the business, but liming really means to hang out. Let's go chill, relax, have a good time, eat, drink, and be merry. That's what liming is.
Yes,
that's what the terminology liming means.
So an example is if you came to my house to find me, my mother will say he's going to Lime with his friends. He's just going to hang out. But liming can take place with 2 people or several people. Normally, you basically have food and drink, and you're sort of in this you're in just a wonderful place with your friends and your family, and you're just hanging out with them. And it's about the repertoire, it's about the conversation, the jokes, and of course eating and drinking.
So Paolo had a similar question, and you've probably given us the answer already, but it was, are you worried about the future of the industry, and what could be a possible new different approach to it?
I think it's a really good question, because yes, the future, when you listen to the news right now, the future is bleak for hospitality. And we cannot, if you haven't heard that, I don't know where you're living, but stay there. But the thing is, it is quite bleak. Again, I think our approach is slightly different to some of the other bigger name brands, the chain brands who probably will sort of see the fall. We are approaching this from a very, very different perspective. Yes, it is a business, and yes, we will want to make money, but we also want to make sure that how people actually get an experience rather than just come and eat and go. And like I say, we're taking people on. I think we're doing what has never been done before, where we're actually showcasing the Caribbean, whether it be a dining experience, as I mentioned, in St. Bart's, or you're in a rum bar in Havana, sipping some rare but unique rums, or you're on a beach bar in Barbados. But it's also about those people who's been to those places, who's come back to London and disappointed with what they've found. So our approach is, let us change that and let us actually show people how this is what the Caribbean is. Let's show Londoners and let's be proud of where we've come from. But let's work as a community, because there's a saying in Trinidad and Tobago: together we aspire, together we achieve. I firmly believe that if we work as a community, the Caribbean is one. We've come from all around the world to be there. And in London, we've come from all over the Caribbean to be here. Let's work together as one and showcase us, our food, our people, and a community spirit. Let's grow.
Yes, I think Sham for president, everyone. What do you reckon?
I'm cultural ambassador of Trinidad and Tobago first.
Yes. So it's really the community spirit of the Caribbean, of your business, that's going to carry you through, I think.
Yes, I think, if we look at what's happening right now with COVID-19, everybody's talking about community and the community approach, and we can be so lonely and so lost in London. But if we can create a community space, it will actually, almost like Cheers, where everyone knows your name. And I think one of our strong points is and has been, and if you look at TripAdvisor, you will see this was our approach. It was as if you were at my house. We're so informal about the whole thing. You come in, you eat, you drink, we talk, we laugh, we build that sort of that repertoire with you, and that, I think, actually will mean a lot more to people going forward than you go into a sort of a high street chain restaurant, you eat, you leave. Yes, you've eaten, but actually what have you gained from it? And that's where I think people have to change their business model and offer an experience. No longer should we settle for anything less.
You know what I was thinking? I was seriously thinking we should have Nomsa back into this conversation, because I think if and when she does communicate with you and the restaurant, sorry, what the hell is going on? I'm thinking about parlor, rum shop, and all kind of things. You've got me thinking Trinidadian today, Sham. Thank you for that. And what I was thinking is, Nomsa could hook up some of her dates and they come to the show.
I love that. I love that idea. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they could hang out at Lyman. I don't know, something is going wrong here.
So I just saw a question there about the t-shirts. Somebody wants to know where they can get a t-shirt. Yes, we are going to be able to sell them, and we can actually personalize them for you. So again, follow us on social media, and we're more than happy to actually tell you how to do that. I'll probably put up a link today at the end of this program, so you know how to order a t-shirt, and we can personalize it for you.
Oh, that's good news. Thank you. So what else are you doing, Sham, in the meantime? You're obviously still very, very busy. So what are you up to day to day?
So, let's talk today for argument's sake. Today we had a phone call with our agent to talk to the landlord. We had that. Then I had a phone call with our business development manager for our rum. Then I went to get some food for a local charity to actually help the older age people. So I went to the supermarket and got that. And now we're here. But my day really and truly is sort of filled with ideas and how we can actually bring everything Lyman has done to almost full circle. So we've done this festival, we have the restaurant, we now have the rum, and there's 2 more things we're working on. But I cannot spread a word of it yet. But all I can say just brings everything we're doing literally full circle. One of them will be my biggest challenge yet. And I think we've got to remember, I started this 18 months ago. Before that, Lyman was not even a dream. This is now my reality. This is now what I want to do. This is what feels so normal and so natural and just makes me happier.
Oh, it feels like it's something you've done forever. It definitely, as you say, it feels natural. It looks natural. When you're talking about it, you can just see this is your thing. But where did it come from? So what made you start this 18 months ago?
I was working for Indigo, as you mentioned, and basically what happened was Spitalfields Market had a space, and they said, would you run a bar for us for 10 weeks at Christmas time? And I thought, sell some alcohol, have some fun, great. And then what happened was we went through a process of looking at different things and ideas from tapas to cheese and wine. And then my partner, he said, so someone said to me, why don't you do rum? And I said, oh my God, rum, I'm doing Trinidad food, because in my opinion, there's no Trinidadian restaurant in London who did the food I grew up with. And my partner named the restaurant Lyman, and literally we went from there into where we are now. And everything just sort of it was like almost like a puzzle coming together. Everything just fitted and felt normal and felt natural. And you know, it wasn't until I think an older woman in her 80s, she came in and she looked around in amazement. And I took her hand and I showed her around the restaurant with her daughter, who was larger than life, and she was elegantly dressed. And she said to me, "Thank you for doing this. For the first time in 60 years, I feel comfortable." Because she's lived in the UK for so long and she hasn't felt represented on a dining experience. And I think it's things like that. And people who are my age who bring their children and say, "This is how I grew up." And then there are the people who work in the city and they bring their colleagues. No longer all about one is where they went to eat and drink. They can actually come to Lyman and be proud of their culture and their food. And that is what carries me. That is what makes me think I'm doing this for the right reason. Like I said to everyone, when we opened Lyman for 10 weeks, it wasn't even an experiment. It was to have fun. Very quickly grew into what it became. And I felt at the time, if anyone did this after me, if they can benchmark a Caribbean dining experience on what we have done, it'll be great. However, I have done it now and I've gone past it. So the new Lyman is going to be even better than the last one. The experience is going to be phenomenal. And we're literally going to showcase the best of the best.
And just looking at all that food there, I am hungry. Is it too early to be eating food like this?
Never.
No. If only I could make some, though. I'm going to need to go to your Instagram and look at your tutorials. We have a question in for Nomsa. Okay, while we are in lockdown, what can we do to get ourselves ready? Or this is a good question. What can we do to get ourselves ready for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right?
Wow. What do you do to get yourself ready for Mr. Right and Mrs. Right? Basically, you have to get on writing your vision. What do you really want from that Mr. Right or Mrs. Right? And then become that person yourself.
Okay.
Because you can't say, "I'm looking for Mr. Right," if you are not the right person. So some people tend to look for Mr. Right or Miss Right, but then their mindset is not in the right place. So what I would advise someone, what you do is you write your own vision. What are you looking for from that person? You write everything, your desires, your values, everything, include everything. But if you are looking for a man or a woman, never put a face on your vision, because when you are putting a face, you've already making a decision to the universe to say, this is the decision that I've made, so that the universe will not interfere to help you, or God, whatever your beliefs. So what you do, don't put a face on that, and then you just write your vision, and then start becoming that person that you've described yourself. Because for relationship to work, it has to match the character, the mindset. If you are looking for somebody who is this, become that person yourself.
Okay,
and then when you are ready writing that vision, where does this person you are looking for, where can you find them? Where do you think they shop? Waitrose, the clothing shops, where do they shop? Where do they shop? How are they traveling to work? So you start living that life. So when I mean you start living that life, that means if you are looking for a millionaire, there are millionaire pubs, there are restaurants, there's places where they shop. So that means when you go to those kind of shops, your mind is alert. Because what I've realized with people, they say they are single, but when they go out, when a man comes to you to approach you, or when a woman trying to have a conversation, is like, whoa, what do you want? But you are saying you are single. So when you go, let's say you go to Waitrose, you see a man, he's saying, "Oh, lovely morning, huh?" Just reply, because you know this is how normal people live. Lovely morning, reply and say hello, even if they're not looking for relationship. You are training yourself to be normal, because we've lost our old generation attachment, where people communicate that attachment, where I will meet you, Emily, and say, "Good morning, Emily, how are you?" So we don't do that anymore, but we expect to meet people. How can we meet people if we are ourselves not able to actually go our way and say hello? If you look at right now during coronavirus, everybody's normal. This is the normal that we need to bring to this world. This now, people are saying hello to everyone because of the situation, because of the pandemic that we are going through. But it should be this way all the time. If I go on LinkedIn, to be honest with you right now, no one is talking about business. Everyone is saying, hello, Nomsa. They're sending messages. How are you with your family? How are you getting on? This is the normality that we need to bring back so we can be able to meet people, that attachment.
Can I ask a question? So in this time of lockdown, how does one prepare themselves? You work on yourself, yeah? But
you work on yourself,
pandemic, yes. After the pandemic is over and people are able to move around and circulate, you're going to be inviting them to, as a couple, to go to Lyman, right?
So yeah, when you work on yourself, yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking it to Sham. Sham.
Yeah, I think
invite her. Tell her clientele must come to Lyman and try it out. Go on, Sham.
I think what's really interesting here, going back to her question, is I think, but not only to find Mr. and Mrs. Right, you should be looking at your mindset. People ask me why I'm so happy all the time, and in spite of lockdown and having had the virus, I am still happy, and that's because my mindset is differently formed. I have worked on my mind. I wake up, I'm happy. I mentioned earlier, I celebrate the small things, and if you can actually start to do that, and don't wait for a big thing to actually feel good about yourself. Feel good because you actually went and did something for someone. Feel good because you're for yourself. Feel good you're for war. That is what will prepare you for that. But not only to find a partner, but for that business idea, or to learn to speak French, or to actually help yourself. Because this time should be a reflective time. And one thing I started doing over this business period, I started on my personal Instagram account, thinking back to my friends and relationships I've had over the past, and remembering how they have affected my life. And that actually become very powerful. And I share that story on Instagram, and people actually will comment on how wonderful to share the story, because we do forget, or we don't forget. We actually, it's no longer at the front of our head. So the whole idea is, let's use this time to actually do a little bit of internal reflection and do what's so much Netflix, and let's look about what you want out of that. Set your goals, get your vision board, and actually work for you.
Absolutely. I hope people are taking notes. This is some good
I always say as well, a lot of people say, like when we are buying a car, when we're purchasing a car, when we're purchasing our house, when we're purchasing any meaningful item, we always check it out, suss it out, do research. But in personal relationship, we tend to ignore those things.
And just go for like maybe the look. The outside looks nice. So
they dress a certain way, they talk a certain way, and they hang out in a certain place. So you assume that, hey, this person is cool, trendy. I like the look of that person and not really know them. So this is where you come in, Nomsa, to change perspective.
Basically, my job is to snoop. I snoop on people, basically. I snoop on people. I'm a love harmonist, like Shan is saying. I like his attitude because that's the attitude that I have. That basically I like working on me before I can like step outside and expect people to behave the way I want. So when you come to me, basically you're looking for love. I do the work. This is my job. For you, if someone they've had their past, they've got a bad past, so you don't have to worry about that, because that is my job, to snoop on them, to find out before I take their money, to say they are being accepted through the agency. I have to snoop on them and to find out, are they who they say they are, and then I take their money. So by the time you come in, everything is done. But just because everything is done.
Sorry, I was seeing to the right of our screen a imagery of marriage and a happy couple. How much success stories have you had out of the dating agency? How much success stories have you had? On average, like 50%, 70%, 80%, 90%, something like that. How much success story has led to marriage or long-term relationships?
Basically, every person, because the agency is been running for 2 years now. So every person that I have matched, they are still in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I have had, it's like 90% of everyone that comes through, we have success with them. Mostly is men, because my clients are men. Women are members within the agency. So 90% of men, they get matched. But some men that are very busy, they pay you, and then they don't have time to go on a date. So that's where the problem, where I struggle, when someone comes to you and say, I'm looking for love, and then when you start saying, okay, I've got a woman for you, and they're like, oh, I'm going away this week, I've got a job, I've got an interview, I've got this. They become busy. So I just have to keep trying, and then try to coach them to say, what did you come here for? You can't give me your money, and now you don't have time to go on a date.
I've got a question here coming up. If you are a shy person, what can you do to build our confidence? The person is saying that they're a shy person. What can you do to help them build their confidence to go out on a date?
Go in front of the mirror and get naked. Go in front of the mirror and get naked. When I say get naked, that means get to know the real you. You have to look at your body, the whole body. What do you see? Why do you think? Why are you shy? So because you are shy, there are so many reasons why people are shy. So what I did with me to bring out my personality when I was working on myself, I used to go in front of the mirror, and I would look at me, and I would smile. And if there is a part of me where I feel like I have disobeyed Nomsa, I will cry. And then when I cry, I'll feel that joy inside of me. When I look at my boobs, because I have to accept my body. When I look at my boobs, I look in front of the mirror, and if there is any part of me where I felt that my body wasn't enough, I will cry, because I feel like I have neglected myself. So if you feel shy, go in front of the mirror, play the music with the powerful lyrics, play the music, and just get to know you. Get to know you. What are you wearing? What coat are you wearing? If you are shy, that means there's something that happened, maybe when you are at school, maybe when you are growing up, something that was said to you. Meet that person that said things that made you become the person that you are. And when you feel that, you meet this energy that needs to leave you. And when that energy leaves, when you step outside, trust me, when you step outside, no one can tell you who you are. Only you can tell you who you are. You can create your own world by just believing in you and believing in yourself.
Thank you, Nomsa. I'm wondering whether our viewer expected that answer to that question. And by the way, this is just a beige top. I haven't followed the advice just yet. I'm going to go to Sham to answer the same question. What can we do to build our confidence up?
It's it's a really, really good question, because I think when I look at my journey and I still am actually quite shy. And so if I walk into a room, people who I don't know, I do not have that confidence. But you wouldn't think so. So there's a few sayings. You fake it till you make it. Mm-hmm. But equally, I think if I go back to the mindset and the mood board, you basically create your vision and you basically work along that vision. And that probably will more than likely help you with getting into that mindset on how you actually deal with that shyness. Now, shyness comes many different ways. Your body shape is one, the way you dress, the way you think. There's a lot of different ways to actually work on. So I think we need to look a little bit deeper and say, okay, fine. Yes, this is it. This is where I want to be, and how do we actually get there? It is a journey you have to actually go on to actually get to that place. It's a journey most of us probably will be on for most of our lives, because you don't go from being shy to being uber confident. And if someone says to you, you do that, send them to me, please, because like I mentioned, I've been in the UK for 22 plus years. And when I arrived here, I had a confidence, but actually I was so shy back then. It was a confidence I built for myself to protect myself, and I still have that same shyness. But you wouldn't think so when you meet me, and you definitely wouldn't think so now. But you walk me into a room, I definitely will. I will. And actually, if I put it into sort of a personal relationship, I would basically have my partner walk into a room first. Although I am the more confident one, I'll basically make him walk in first because I am so shy. So it's a long process. It is a journey, but it's definitely worth the journey.
Yeah, it really is. And I've been on my own confidence journey, and actually getting in front of the mirror was something that I did, fully clothed though, I may add. And I actually looked at myself and I had to tell myself all the positive things about what I was seeing. And this really did build me up again. And I had to do that every day, verbally out loud. And then I got to the point where it was literally just a little look in the mirror just to say, you got this, girl. Like, we're going to be good. So a lot of self-talk, a lot of mindset.
Yes.
Sham, did you say that you have experienced coronavirus yourself?
Yes. Well, okay. So I have not been tested because testing, that's a whole other story. But I was sick for 10 days with high fever. I am asthmatic, so I was in one of those high risk category. But luckily, I experienced no breathing problems or no cough. So I had a high fever. I had the shivers. It was 10 days. I'm normally sick for a day or two. If I'm sick, I'm built like an ox, we would say that. I hate doing nothing. So for me, especially during this time, when I have so many ideas I want to actually shape and mold, I was in bed watching Netflix, I have to say. But yes, it was dreadful. And I remember explaining it to my mother, saying how this actually felt like a firework. The shivers would feel like a fireworks about to explode. You can just feel it coming on, and it enveloped your body. That's what the chills. It was strange. It was really, really strange.
And you're through that now, and obviously feeling so much better.
I am firing on all cylinders. So
yeah.
I made a full recovery. I was advised by the consultant at A&E. It'll take about 10 days. On day 10, it will either go one of either way. Either you get a bit worse or you get better. Thankfully for me, I got better. So now I feel I'm ready to take on the world. I am ready.
Yes, the energy is back. That's brilliant. So have you actually experienced anything else to do with Corona that has held you back in any way? You seem like you've just got so much energy. Have there been any negative effects apart from obviously thinking you may have had it?
So the negative effects, I turn them very quickly into positive.
Yeah.
Because I am not in control of this. I'm not in control of what anyone who is in power is doing, but I am in control of myself. I'm in control of the people I work with and our vision. So yes, we are stuck at home, but yes, we can do stuff. Yes, we can actually look, we can go back to basics, and we can actually change things, and we can make it better. So luckily for me, and because of my mindset and the work I have done, I'm able to actually change it around very quickly and put a bad situation and make it a lot better.
We just got a feed underneath here, a message saying, thank you guys for producing this wonderful show. Thank you so much for enjoying the show. Thank you, fan. Thank you for watching and for your positive comments.
Nomsa, have you experienced anything negative from COVID-19?
I think I would say when it all started at school, parents were really, really panicking, and myself, I wasn't panicking because I'm an African woman. I was trained by my parents to say there are things that I have control over, but some things I don't. So when I'm hit with something that I don't have control over, I'm like, okay, what is going on? I have to stop worrying and stop talking and just give myself to the universe and give myself to God to say whatever will be. So that has been the situation. Parents worrying about their homeschooling and how are they going to survive through all this. But guess what? This is the situation. The coronavirus is writing a story to us. So we have to enter into coronavirus's story, just trying to understand. But at this moment, I'm afraid it's no one is fault, no one is to blame. We just have to enter the spirit of coronavirus and rewrite it in a positive way. It's like a relationship. Some people in relationship, spouse, because they are all every day together, and they're gonna start upsetting each other. Come on, it's coronavirus. Coronavirus is killing people. So when you write that story, you have to be grateful that I'm alive. My spouse is alive. My children are alive. Whatever the wrong they are doing that moment, instead of you reacting and just saying in your heart, I'm grateful, God, that I'm alive. I'm grateful that my spouse or my man is alive, or my wife is alive. She's alive, because this is not something that we can. I know before we say, "Oh, he's not working. His home is annoying me," but this is a completely different situation where you just have to surrender yourself, your mindset, and say, whatever will be, will be. But at the moment, I'm grateful that I'm alive, and I'm grateful that my life is, my family is together. So that mindset is very, very important.
Absolutely. We are coming to the end. We've got a few minutes left. So I just want to see if either of our guests have got something they want to share with us, your main sort of message you'd like our viewers to hear today.
So I'll go first. Firstly, I want to say to Veda Brown, I do contact us on our social media. I would love to hear how your vision board is going in the future. But I think hope is probably what I will stress to everyone, because I think for me that is something we have to we're living through right now. I equally think things will get better, and we have to make it better. And it will means, building that community around us with friends, with family, small businesses, and just being there for each other. I think that actually is probably the one thing I practice anyway, but I hope people take from COVID-19, the being together, the families spending families spending together, that sort of stuff.
And what about you, Nomsa? Hello, Nomsa. What about you?
Hi. I will say to everyone, please, at this moment in time, know that what's on the inside of you is greater than what's on the outside. So the coronavirus cannot define who you are. You define who you are. Your creator defines who you are as a person. If you and your family are together, just hold on to what you have. Forget about what they are doing wrong. Forget about what the children are doing wrong. You define your destiny. You can define who you are, where you want to be, how you want to come out of this coronavirus. Coronavirus it's not what happened to you, it's how you respond to it. So what I would say is, if you are looking for tips for anything, you can follow me on social media. I'll be able to give you free tips. We have a talk show as well. If you have problems, you can come to our talk show. And for women, I'm going to leave you with this. Women, know your role in a relationship. Men, know your role in a relationship. A woman is a mentor, does not destroy her husband. You are a mentor, you are a provider, you are a developer. You design the relationship, you bring ideas, you bring plans, and then you bring family together. Men, you are a leader in your relationship. You are a provider. You are a teacher. You do not destroy your children. You do not abuse your wife. You are a teacher. You are a cultivator. And you are an architect. You are also, and both of you, women and men, you all submit to one another and bring a foundation in your relationship. When I say you men, you are not a destroyer, that means you don't abuse your wife. And women, you don't abuse your men. You teach, and she's a mentor. A man is a teacher. So that's why I want to live with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nomsa. Joan, I mean, what do you make of today's guests? It's been brilliant.
It's been wonderful. Relationships, food, drink, Tropicala. It's just all come together really nicely. And I'm so happy that we've had Sham Mahabir from Liming.
Thank you.
Also Nomsa Clara. Thank you so much for being our guest today. And that's all we've got time for today. Emily, what do you say? It's all time. That's all the time we've got today.
I know, and it's such a shame because I just want to talk more and more to Sham and Nomsa. It's been absolutely brilliant, and there are so many little topics we can delve into together. So I just want to say a big, big, warm thank you to both of our guests today. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you for all of your wonderful comments today. Lots and lots of love. Excuse my wrist brace. Lots of love to all of our viewers. It's been brilliant. And
thank you very much.
Our guests on social media as well.
Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you guys.
And everybody, be safe.
Thank you.